This naturopath said this person needed whey protein. You know, I've spent 40 years watching the ebbs and tides of natural health. And it's funny. Everybody, all the practitioners skirt around the truth. They seems like they don't want to address the causative factors. They claim they do, but either they're not educated properly in their naturopathic schools. I remember Southwest Naturopathic School, my sister went to them, and they had books from Dr. Wild. And no offense to him, he's a medical doctor, a good Joe, you know, big beard, everything. He looks good, of course, and now he's cutting all kinds of holistic videos. But he doesn't have a deep understanding of detoxification and the regeneration of tissue. You can see the medical influence into naturopathy in his works and his writings. And so my sister called and reamed him, and so they took his book off the academic scale. I don't think any medical doctor's book should be in a naturopathic school unless that medical doctor totally became a naturopath. A lot of medical doctors, God bless them, you know, they come into naturopathy, but they carry some of this consciousness with them, and that kind of corrupts naturopathy. And a lot of naturopathic schools do not teach naturopathy. That's why I went to England. Naturopathy is a pure science of chemistry and physics, and applied science of chemistry and physics to the largest laboratory we have available. We don't have to have our own laboratories. We already have it. And so this is the problem that we have with all the bogus research and all this stuff that's out there, and just the consumption of millions and billions of dollars, probably trillions. So health is simple, and I got a lot of your messages on the spiritual tapes. I'm glad you appreciate that side. I think that's the most important side, actually, is you and your awareness of who you really are at the highest level you can achieve. Because the higher aware that you are of yourself, the more ecstasy and bliss you have. Because then the union of all life becomes obvious, as there's only the one. So it's amazing, you know. Let me go on before I lose my place. But this, like whey proteins and stuff, this is crap. This is dairy product type crap. I have a good medical doctor friend, and he knew I didn't like whey protein, but he ran a hospital in San Diego, and then he wanted to get out of that. Now he has a really nice holistic center, but he uses a lot of machines and stuff, and not quite this level of detoxification, but that's okay, you know. He's a super guy. Super guy, and he started making health bars for health food stores after coming to my school and sitting here. He decided he didn't quite want to do this level of doing it, but that he started making, and he used whey protein. He says, I know you don't like it. And I said, no, I don't like it. If you want to pump up on the greens. I'm not opposed to greens, particularly to pump up with. If you take the fiber out of there, and alfalfa, an incredible green, why would you want more amino acids than that? You know, it isn't about, you know, just super plucking the body with amino acids. You know, the bottom line with those is they break down in more acids. So, you know, you don't have to overdo the amino acids. If you're building up and pumping up and want to build muscles, then do it on the greens. And now you got strong muscles. And then in a detoxification, you're not going to lose them. You don't lose strong cells when you detoxify. You lose your weak ones. That's detoxification. And I know that I probably have to spend some time and go back and talk about detoxification a little more. What you're going to experience, because someone had mentioned that. I'm getting some of you guys coming in here, and I love that. I appreciate it. I get a comment from a lovely lady in California. She was in the other day. And I'll see if I can get to that question and stuff. I get so much here to go over. But I got a little extra time this morning, and then I'm just going to keep trying to get to these questions because there's just so many of them. But always understand that detoxification is very simple. Its main goal is the regeneration of tissue or cells. Today's obvious through that process is the genetic remembering of cells. Sounds big, fancy, but it is just increasing cell awareness of its own potential, of what it's here for. beyond what we see in this world. And that's the problem. If a lot of science looks very one-dimensional, and so this is why they miss it. So when we get into quantum physics, and someone gave me a nice little saying on quantum physics, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we gotta be able to take us out of the boxes, and so quantum physics does that. It's almost like a Zen technique, you know. And so, yeah, we need that. We need that. We need that nudge that there's more. It's bigger. There's more consciousness out there.